welcome back. It's been another month, and here we go. We're going to dive right into it. So remember, this is for August, it says, but we're looking back in July. This is the monthly webinar where we go over more of the national news, what's going on with interest rates, what's going on with inflation, what's going on with sales price, inventory, all that stuff. Even though when we jump into it this today, there's lots of the same charts, graphs, all that stuff. A lot of the data looks the same, but what's really happening out there, we're going to be going through today, people are changing. So basically, like the doom and gloomers, the YouTube crashers, a lot of people, are out here on podcasts and on TV, on an article saying the housing market's going to crash, inventory is going to spike, foreclosures and short sales are going to shoot to the moon, and all this stuff. They're all becoming wrong. And that's because of a couple things. Number one, inventory is staying at all-time lows, but also what the feds really did is the feds screwed housing. They really, really did. They plowed those rates way too long, way too low. All these people, and I say all, so many people refinanced their mortgages. They bought at super low rates, super low payments. And since the pandemic, if you bought in 19 and before, compared to what your price value is today, like pretty much all over the country, unless you probably live in like somewhere like maybe North Dakota, I'm just kidding, where the value didn't go up, it probably went up there, is that we created this whole housing assets, all tide rises, they all rise up. So the house that you could buy, your house today might be worth 30, 40, 50, 60% more than what you bought it in 2017 or 18. And so you're locked in on this low rate and there's no way you're gonna move. So we're gonna go over all this data. And like I said, this is more of a national look. Thanks for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome, and let's get into it. Today's agenda, we'll go over a little about me, market update, go over a hot product at the end. Again, my name's Kenny Simpson. If this is the first time you're watching this, welcome. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. I guarantee you by the time you're done with this, whether you're in the real estate game, whether you're trying to buy a house for the first time, your real estate game, realtor, loan officer, whatever you are, you're going to learn, because every time I go through this to get ready for this presentation, I'm learning. This one is filled with great nuggets. So if you're a buyer or in the real estate game or any of that, there's going to be information that you're going to want out of this, because there are some really, really good slides and data information that we got for you this month. I focus on 1 to 4 unit financing. Also, real estate investor. My wife does commercial financing, so we're kind of a well-oiled machine here. If you have any questions, there's my contact information. Feel free to reach out anytime, whether it's a question about rates or lending and all that stuff. But anyways, let's jump into it. In times of uncertainty, people follow the certain. Well, isn't that true? Consumer survey on home prices. Well, this is interesting. Let's see what you guys are thinking out there, what the consensus is. So consumer confidence in home prices weakens towards the end of 2022. So this is cool. We get to go all the way back to 2010. And this is kind of like each, percentage of Americans each December who think prices will go down over the next 12 months. Well, as you can see, as we went along in this, from 2010, we're talking 12 years. This is a great survey. This is where you, the consumer that probably doesn't understand data, that's probably not looking at the stuff we are. And look, I get it. If you're living your own life and you're not in the real estate game, you're not trying to put out content like us, and you're not paying attention all the time, just like you're probably in a different sector or a different industry. If you're a buyer watching this, how would I supposed to know about trends in your industry, right? You're more just watching what you hear on TV, reading some of the articles, maybe watching some podcasts at this point because they're out there, maybe watch some YouTube videos, maybe listening to a loan officer, a real estate agent, or somebody that's in real estate, and how you're going to come up with this data information. So basically 2022 of December, 37%, it's been the highest since 2010, is thinking home prices were going to come down. But the funny thing is home prices were already coming down at the December of 2022. And because rates got high, inventory is still low. And then we hit January, if you guys remember, rates dropped and boom, it went from a buyer's market to buyer-seller's market to now we're over to more of a seller's market, depending on where you are in the country. I get it, depending on, how much you're looking to buy and all that, but that's kind of what you're looking at. A 20% home price decline. 7 forecasts of models are leaning crash. Here's where the other 13 models have gone. That was December 7th, 2022. There's a lot of articles coming out. There's a guy from Goldman Sachs said San Diego real estate market's going to crash by 25%. They picked this market, which I'm in. So there's a lot of doom and gloomers. And
I think where they got it wrong is they really thought the inventory was going to pile up, but what they really did not think about was home builders are not building at the rate they were. 40% of the market is free and clear. 92% of us are locked at a 5% or less, 75 at a 4% or less, and about 30% at 3% or less. And you got to realize people bought houses. A lot of people most of their houses were bought in this country pre-lockdown. So they've got that fixed price with those taxes, insurance, and then they went out and a lot of these people that they hit historically low rates at the right times. They pulled cash out or rate and term refi. Anyways, they locked in on the lowest rate with great equity. But the biggest thing is they've got that nice low payment that they do not want to give up. And if they go buy a new house now, it's much higher, more expensive. It doesn't make sense. And anybody over 50 or 60 is only moving an average one more time in their life to zero, and they're not going anywhere. So we are stuck. So I'm not sure if we're going to get a home price crash. I keep saying the only thing that would do that is a massive recession with massive job loss, and people have to sell because they can't afford to live. Consumer confidence and home prices, talk of a repeat. So a lot of people think we're going to have a repeat of 2008 crash. I don't want to get into it and waste all the time here, but if you're interested and you're watching this, you can reach out to me and you should get my data over drama webinar I did because that goes through all this stuff. It's really good. So anyways, let's keep moving on. 1 in 4 still believe prices will depreciate in the next 12 months. There you go. We'll depreciate. There you go. All these people. Facts shatter fear. Exactly. Because that's what we're going to get into. We thought people would panic and put their home on the market. Number one. As inventory picked up sharply in 2022, I adjusted my outlook in October 2022 and wrote house prices 7 years in purgatory. I noted that 10% decline in normal house prices now seemed likely. However, the inventory surge in 2022 was somewhat of a head fake. Some potential sellers quickly listed homes, probably remembering what happened to the home prices in 2006, 2011 period, but that surge ended pretty quickly. So this is great because I love data. That's why my webinar was called Data Over Drama. New listings were expected to skyrocket. So the red was expected. That's where we're expected to go. And didn't do that. It did not do that, guys. This is what it did. This is exactly what it did. And we're going to go into that in a little bit. Recession and end of moratorium equals tsunami of foreclosures, right? Wrong again. 2010. Okay, so 2012 right here. So if you look at 2012 right here, 1 million foreclosures in the first 6 months, filings. This could have been short sales, maybe just foreclosures. Foreclosures and short sales nationally at 2012, that level made up 35% of the sales. Not 2010s. You can imagine what this made up, 50, 60%. Now it's nationally, some places like here in here in California, like Riverside, they're probably more like 50, 60, 70% of the market. Serious delinquencies on a decline. We're not seeing the delinquencies in homes. May's overall mortgage delinquency rate matched the all-time low, and serious delinquencies followed suit. Furthermore, the rate of mortgages that were 6 months or more past due, a measure that ballooned in 2021, has rescinded to a new level last observed in March of 2020. Okay. November 2008, foreclosure activity is already at record levels, yet as prices fall, foreclosure activity will probably continue to decrease. The activity will be literally off the charts. That's November 2008. July of 2023, there will not be a foreclosure crisis at this time, which we already know. What actually happened with home prices in 2022? 48-year monthly price movement. This is from 1973 to 2021. This is the average. Again, look at 2022, home prices 2023. Percentage change in home values, month over month, Case-Shiller, FHFA, CoreLogic. Look at this. Obviously, we got July, August, October, November, December. Saw negative, and now we're seeing the rebound. Percentage change in home values, same thing. Appreciation skyrocketed in the last 3 years. Top 20 cities since March 2020. We've got Miami at the top, 63%. San Diego here, 52. What else we got here? Las Vegas, 37. Boston, 38. Atlanta, 49. Dallas, 50. Phoenix, 54. Probably see because demand. Tampa, 63.8. You know where everybody's moving. There's no doubt that the housing market has resonated from a home price perspective. Firming prices have now fully erased the pullback we tracked through the last half of 2022 and lifted the seasonal adjusted Black Knight HPI to a new record in May. 2023 year-end home price forecast. Original forecast, here you go, 15 to 20% AEI. Now they're saying 6%. Look at this sway. This is all opinion. This is where we're at. This is what their opinion is now. The acceleration of the appreciation is not the same thing as home prices are depreciating. Okay, let's take a look at inventory. Inventory is still historically low. And don't worry, guys, I'm going to give you a wrap up in the end. I'm just going to go through the data here, and then I'm going to give you a wrap up of consolidating this and what is going on and why we did not see the foreclosure crash. We did not see inventory spike. We're not seeing people selling their homes. We're seeing weakness in inventory. We're seeing weakness in buyers. We're seeing rates going up. I'm going to go through all this stuff, wrap it up, but I'm just going through this quickly so we can move through the slides. All we're doing is just looking at the data. Inventory is still historically low. Boom. There is simply not enough homes for sale. The market can easily absorb a doubling of the inventory. 100% agree. In a seller's market, sellers often think that they don't need an agent because anyone can sell a house during a favorable period. However, it is important to remember that agents don't sell houses. Rather, they facilitate, consult, and protect their clients through the process. It's true. There's this thing because of the internet, I'll just throw my house up there and I could sell it. You're right. You could. Just like you could not have car insurance or health insurance or insurance on your house, which if you have a mortgage, you need. Like I said, you can have health insurance. The reason why most of us have health insurance is in case something catastrophic happens. The reason why we have title insurance and escrow is because you need that in a transaction. But if we did it ourselves and something major happened, we have no back. So in this case, why do you have a loan officer? It's really good because they're supposed to guide you through the process, answer any questions, get you a good rate. That's one piece. The reason why you have an agent is because you want to make sure they're going to get you the best price on that house. They're going to sell your house and get you the most for your house. They're going to look over the docs, hold your hand, answer questions, all that stuff. But really, why do you have people in a transaction like this? The big thing for me is when shit hits the fan, things go wrong, and you don't have that real estate agent, you don't have the good loan officer, you don't have the health insurance, you don't have the house insurance, you don't have the car insurance, you don't have the life insurance, you don't have these things. It's when shit hits the fan and you think it never will because you've done a couple transactions and maybe real estate if you're a buyer. But if you're in the real estate business and you've done thousands and thousands of transactions like I have, things can go wrong. It just happens. So that's why having an expert, that's why having a team. I'm surrounded by a really well-rounded team, whether it's title, escrow, lenders, insurances, whatever it is, that can get things done, answer questions, and help out. That's why it's important to have an agent, is they should be able to make you more money and save you more money. Both inflation measures are moderating. We definitely know that, coming way down. Inflation historically perspective, you can see the 70s, the the early 70s, late 70s, early 80s was high. Then it came falling off a cliff, and it's kind of been sub 6% until boom, we hit it with all this money and printing and all that. Boom. Look how long it's been since we've had this inflation. Mortgage rates tend to track government bonds and inflation with a lag. So this is what's interesting. CPI, right? 30-year fixed rates. CPI go up. There's a lag. Then they drop. Look at the 30-year fixed rate, how high it was. Then it came down, 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 down. So kick up. So we've got a kick up here and inflation's coming down. Rates are going to come down. We would never suggest that a real estate company could be successful without fully understanding local market trends. But ignoring macro trends or assuming they do not carry the same weight would be equally erroneous suggestion. In our experience, the most effective industry leaders appreciate the appropriate balance between the two ends of the spectrum. Just like me. Yes, you should know the macro, the micro, what's going on. A lot of people don't. They couldn't answer basic questions. They just don't spend the time. Home sales, average days in the market. There you go. Very low. No inventory. Existing home sales, terrible. Existing home sales, way down. Existing home sales, 21 black to gold in the brown. You can kind of see how 23 is worse. Remember, 21, 22 wasn't even that record of sales. Or worse, you can see how bad the data is. New home sales, we were kind of getting close here, and then a little better here. So 2023 has been a little better in some senses for new home sales because they're building more because of the opportunity there and what they can pick up. New home sales in thousands. It's a lot. There's your distribution. New home sales. So $300,000 to $400,000 seems the sweet spot of the market. Total home sales is down from last year. And it's low. Pending home sales, very unhealthy. We call this an unhealthy real estate market. This is not healthy at all. Pending home sales, again, way down. Percentage of distressed property, we went over this. The short sales foreclosures, it's just not there. It's below average, not causing a problem. Home prices, year over year by region, almost flat, but you can see what's going on here. We'll see as that continues through the year, things are starting to pick up. That might change. Change in sales, as you know, year over year, it's down. Change in home prices, year over year, 20 city composition. Pretty interesting. Year over year change in price. Current forecasted housing inventory. We're definitely, getting lighter on the blue. So not very good, as we all know. Lots of inventory of homes, terrible. 2019, normal markets, 5-ish, 4.5, 5 months. We've got, this is January, so we're low. Buyer foot tracker declined slightly, deviating from seasonal trends, of course, because I think there's no inventory and rates are high, affordability, mortgage rates. Speaking of mortgage rates, they are like a roller coaster, say, going up and down, but they're not good. We're not getting the relief, so they are high and causing issues. Let's see, 2023, quarter four, Q1, 6% by Q3 of 2024, says Fannie Mae. I'm looking out, 5.2 MBA, NAR 6%. Honestly, I think by then, depending on how things go, I think NBA is more right. I think we're going to see rates more in the fives. That's my opinion. This is conventional, so we'll see what happens. But where are they going? I think they're going in the fives too next year. Mortgage credibility. Look, we're still making great loans. How to reach me.
All right, everybody. Well, that's a wrap for the monthly webinar. Thanks for watching. But before we go, like I mentioned, I'm going to go over the hot topic, the hot product, whatever you want to call it. This month, I wanted to talk about an asset-based loan. So a lot of people haven't heard of it. So let me just give you the quick rundown of what this is and why I'm talking about it. Because a lot of people have no job, they have no income, and you'd be like, well, what are they, losers or something? No. I'm talking about people that have cash. We're not talking about lending to somebody who has no money, no income, no nothing. We're talking about somebody that doesn't have to have a job, that doesn't have to have income. Maybe they took an exit on a company. Maybe they inherited a bunch of money. Maybe they just have a bunch of money and they're not working, not doing anything, but they want to buy a property. They maybe want to buy a primary, a second home, or investment property. What we can do is we could take that millions of dollars, if that's what it is. We use some type of algorithm depending on what lender we go to, and we can come up with, if you got $2 million, depending on the algorithm, let's say, hey, they know, they break it down, they give you $20,000 a monthly income. I'm just using numbers, guys. It's not in stone here. And we could take the $20,000 and we can use that like you're making $20,000 in your business or a W-2 job or whatever, and we can use that income. We just have to know the money's been sitting in the bank at least 6 to 12 months and that you have access to it. And that's quick. You can still use some of that money if you need to put down on a down payment. That would obviously lower it. But asset-based lending helps a lot of people out. Not everybody has income or a job, and not everybody needs it. Maybe you had a business, you sold it, you're sitting on equity, and you want to go out and buy real estate or do something. It doesn't hinder you. But besides that, I appreciate you guys watching. Until next month, we will keep watching the same stuff. We're going to keep watching interest rates. We're going to keep watching inflation. We're going to keep watching inventory. We're going to keep watching home sales, home prices, all that stuff. It seems that the market's really frozen and we're not getting the inventory we need. But over time, as things have calmed down with inflation, consumer spending, with the labor markets, things are cooling off because we're seeing it, not fast enough. But as they cool off more and more, we will start getting into lower interest rates, which probably, if we don't get the inventory, which will create another problem. But until next month, just want to remind you guys, hey, appreciate you watching. If there's anything I could do for you, please reach out. You know how to reach me. Love you guys. Take care. Until next month, hope you guys are doing well.